Holy smokes, everyone. This is a quick, urgent message that you need to hear right now. So ladies and gentlemen, with all the craziness that's happening in the markets right now, and with all the data I've been getting about the markets, about the stock market, housing market, bond market, what the Fed's doing, I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, and I've also been looking at what a lot of people have been recommending. Because what do most people say? They just say, look, just buy, no matter what, no matter how bad things look, just buy, blindly buy, don't pay attention to any of the indicators, just keep on buying. And what a lot of these gurus say, they say, look, don't worry, the markets always recover. They'll recover within a year, 3 years, 5 years. While people have been doing a lot of thinking, and I've got this one chart, this one indicator to prove that's not the case. And while this advice may be good for some, it's actually terrible for a large part of my audience. So everyone, what is this indicator? Should you just blindly buy the dip no matter what? And what should we really be doing right now to prepare for the coming recession that could be coming? What else could we be doing to prepare for a stock market decline? Well, everyone, that's exactly what we're going to get into. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it. So everyone, I just want to show you this chart. This is the S&P 500 over the past 90 years. Now, what do people keep saying? They're saying, look, just keep on buying because it just keeps going up and up and up. And yes, why that's been true over the past 14 years since 2008. Every time we've seen a dip in the stock market, the central banks run in, they print more money, they lower interest rates, and the party keeps going. Or what some people say, they just kick the can down the road. But people, what you have to know is this bull run we've seen in the S&P 500 for the past 13 years is completely unheard of. This doesn't normally happen. And yes, while they can keep kicking the can down the road, they can't do it for eternity. Eventually they do have to face the music, and eventually they will run out of firepower to keep this bubble going. And I fear 2022 is the year the road ends. And what I see on YouTube with a lot of these people that just keep recommending you to blindly keep buying is they've only been investing during this crazy bull run that is unprecedented. Not all of them, but most of these 20-year-olds or people in their early 30s, they've never seen a significant prolonged downturn. It's easy to say buy the dip, diamond hands when the stock market rebounds next week. But what if the stock market stays flat or doesn't rebound for a decade? Look at this, everyone. In 1968, the S&P 500 hit 853. And if we have a look here, it did not recover all the way until 1993. So that is 25 years you would have to hold just to get your gains back to what they were in 1968. But remember, we had high periods of inflation in the 70s and in the 80s. So really, it would have probably taken you in real terms another 10 years because inflation would have significantly devalued your portfolio. But you may say, look, that's just one point in history. That was just a fluke. No, it wasn't, everyone. Also, look at this, the famous time, the Great Depression, 1929. The S&P 500 hit 500, and guess what? It did not recover until 1956, 27 years later. And then look what happened. It fell back down to this level and below again in 1985. So that is literally almost 60 years you would have to wait to get your gains back to where they were. Now, I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom here or try to tell you to sell your portfolio, try to time the market, but I feel like nobody's saying that, look, we could be in a scenario where the stock market could crash and it could be possible that it may not recover for 10 or 20 years. I'm not saying it will, but all these 20-year-olds and early 30-year-olds that are saying, look, just keep on buying because it'll recover within a year, 2 years, 5 years, that may not be the case. And unfortunately, most of the stock gurus on YouTube are young. There's not many mature people, and I'm young myself, but I try to learn from people older than me and learn from people that have lived through these experiences so I don't have to make the same mistake myself. And my audience, you subscribers, a lot of my viewers are over 45, over 55, and over 65. So if you're over 55 and you're listening to these 20 or 30-year-olds that are telling you, look, just buy, and hold, it will recover within a year or 5 years, well, that may not be the case. Maybe you have to retire in 10 years. Or maybe you put money in that you couldn't afford to lose. Because I know a lot of people say, look, yeah, I can afford to lose it. But yeah, I'm talking to you, Jimmy, that keeps risking your rent every month when you're trying to day trade options or day trade cryptocurrencies. Stop doing it, Jimmy. Or you, Johnny, that still has credit card debt and hasn't got an emergency fund. Don't invest money until you pay that off and until you have your emergency fund. But going back to my message, everyone, they've been kicking the can down the road, and what they've been able to do over the past 40 years since the 80s is drop interest rates from 20% to 0. They've been able to print money like crazy. Governments have been able to take on more and more debt, but now with the debt at 30 trillion, the government's not going to be able to take on much more debt, especially with interest rates rising. Also, now we've got inflation out of control, like what happened in the 70s and 80s. So if we do enter a bear market in the stock market, unlike 2018, the Federal Reserve's not going to be able to lower interest rates and turn the money printers on again. So my point, it's time to have a good hard look at your portfolio and tell yourself, will I be willing to hold this for 20 years if it goes down? And also ask yourself, can I afford to lose this money? Because people, like I've shown you, it doesn't always just come roaring back. But everyone, that's just my thoughts on the situations. I wanted to provide a different opinion to what everyone else was saying. What do you think about this? Let me know. Now, for all my loyal viewers and subscribers still watching, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.